excuse the television match official should we require him. And we're just about set to go, and it looks like it'll be Jade Lepesque, the 25-year-old, playing outside centre wearing number 13, who will get us underway.
Captain
and Ireland wait. And we are just about set to start the Six Nations campaign for Ireland for 2018 in the south of France, and off we go. And France had split their pack, and that just about made it the required 10 metres, and Ireland trying to get their hands on the ball as France put the numbers in, and it's there for Rivolin, the scrum half, and then it's with Bourdon, and France crash it up the centre. Little pop pass off to Duval, and the ball is protected, and France hit their straps early, and Ireland forced into defensive duty. Niamh Briggs tries to get and does well. She did enough to put off the pass, and Ireland quick to dive on the ball. I think it was Claire Malloy who got there, and Ireland have the ball in hand, and it's a good start for them in terms of